Like most Chinese smartphone players, Oppo also launched its own sub-brand last year called Realme. With less than 6 months of experience, the company is already competing with established players. This year, the company is competing with the new Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 with the Realme 3. So now we're going to find out if the new smartphone from Realme is worth your money.
The most noticeable change when compared to its predecessor is the design. It features a small water drop notch above the display, giving a better screen-to-body ratio. There's also a curved unibody back, but what I didn't like was the plastic build. Now, while the overall build of the smartphone feels solid enough, I noticed that after just a few days of use, there were some scratches and scuff marks. Also, the phone is a fingerprint magnet, so you might just have to use a protective case. The one I reviewed came with a black and purple gradient finish, although you can also grab one in blue or black. There's a 6.2-inch HD Plus display up front with a chin at the bottom and a visible black border around it. And the resolution of the display is low, considering most phones today have moved to a Full HD panel at this price segment. So text is not very sharp, but in all honesty, you might not just notice that. Colors and brightness feel pretty good, and I didn't have any major complaints about it. You will also notice that the camera setup at the back is now vertical instead of horizontal as in with previous Realme phones. You also get a fingerprint scan at the back, which is fast and pretty snappy. While the phone does feature a 3.5mm audio jack, it makes use of a micro USB port. I just really wish that we could just move on to USB Type-C. As for performance, the Realme 3 doesn't get a Snapdragon processor, but the MediaTek Helio P70 processor is quite capable. You can choose either 3GB of RAM or 4GB of RAM with 32GB or 64GB of storage. Both of the models offer expandable storage as well. In my day-to-day usage, I found the handset to be pretty stable. Of course, this being a budget handset, I didn't expect a lot with gaming. But it still managed to hold Asphalt 9 at high graphics settings and PUBG Mobile at medium. Then there is the all-new ColorOS 6 running over Android 9.0 Pie. The company has finally made an attempt to bring changes to its UI layer. It does look clean and almost close to stock Android. But it wasn't as stable as I hoped it would be. It stuttered on occasions, especially when I dragged down the notification shade, which also comes with quick toggle settings with rather big rectangular icons. In the camera department, you get a 30MP and 2MP dual rear camera setup, with the primary sensor having a large f1.8 aperture. The second sensor is only used for calculating the depth when you use the portrait mode. Now, the camera performance is decent, although I found the pictures inconsistent at times, especially when shooting landscape photos. It can capture decent colors and details, and even the HDR capability was good. But some shots looked oversaturated. There are new features like Nightscape, which is a low light mode, and Chroma Boost. You also get AI-based scene detection on the camera app. The camera can shoot 1080p videos, but sadly there is no 4K video recording. The front 13MP sensor can shoot decent selfies under good light, but is no good when you move to low light. Other prominent features include a 4230 mAh battery, which easily lasted me all day. It doesn't come with fast charging, but the company has provided a 10-watt charger which lets you go from 0 to 50 in about an hour.
So, Redmi or Realme? Well, the Realme 3 is definitely one of the best smartphones under 10,000. But that doesn't make it better than the Redmi Note 7. Simply because the latter actually comes with a lot of features which you don't find on the Realme 3, and it is also coming in a much more handsome package.
Our suggestion is, if you are on a strict budget, then go for this one. But if you can add just $1,000 more, then the Redmi Note 7 is the better choice.